What's up everyone? How are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto hate his parents and destroy Hidden Leaf Village? If you enjoy this what if, then please like, share and do comment and also check out our Patreon page. So let us start the story.
Chapter minus 1. Konoha stood tall beneath a calm blue sky, its walls carrying the illusion of unity, strength, and legacy. To outsiders, it was perfection, a village forged by legends, protected by heroes, and guided by unbreakable will. But perfection, Naruto knew, was a lie, because inside that same village he existed, and his existence was unwanted. Naruto Uzumaki had learned very early that pain did not always come from enemies. Sometimes it came from the people who were supposed to stand beside you. He remembered his mother, Kushina Uzumaki, not as warm or loud, but distant. Cold in ways no winter could ever replicate. She didn't strike him, didn't curse him, she simply erased him. Her world revolved around another, his twin, Hitomi Uzumaki. The child praised by elders, the pride of the clan, the girl whose very presence seemed to bend affection toward her. Naruto had stopped asking why, because questions required hope, and hope had long since abandoned him. Instead, he smiled, not because he was happy, but because it was the only armor he had left. He buried himself in books stolen, borrowed, or discarded. Words became his escape, his weapon, his silent rebellion. While others trained under guidance, Naruto forged himself alone in the shadows. And in those shadows he found a name, a legacy, a ghost of power, Kotenhi Uzumaki, a man whispered about in forgotten texts, a warrior who carried both wind and water within his veins, an anomaly even among the Uzumaki. His battles weren't described, they were feared. Naruto didn't admire his strength, he admired his resolve. Endure, protect, never break, those words carved themselves into Naruto's soul. When he was 6, the final thread snapped. The house that once echoed with distant voices fell silent forever. Kushina Uzumaki walked away without hesitation. Hitomi Uzumaki didn't even look back. Naruto stood at the doorway, small hands trembling, tears slipping down despite everything he had trained himself to suppress. He didn't chase them. Didn't call out because deep down, he already knew they weren't leaving him, they had already left. That night something inside him changed, not broken, not shattered, refined like steel forced through fire. Years passed, Naruto adapted, survived, evolved. He uncovered fragments of his clan's deeper secrets, one of them being something that shouldn't have existed within someone like him. Amatsukatsu, a bloodline that blurred the boundaries between elements, not mastery but fusion, instinctive, raw, and dangerously unstable. Naruto didn't celebrate it, he studied it, obsessed over it, controlled it, because power without control was just another way to die. Yet even in isolation there was one light, Hinata Hyuga. A girl as quiet as the night sky, fragile but not weak. She saw him, not the whispers, not the hate, him. Their friendship was not loud, it wasn't declared, it simply existed in stolen moments and hidden spaces. A field beyond the stone faces of the Hawkage, a place untouched by judgment. There Naruto wasn't a demon. And Hinata wasn't a failure, they were just human, but Konoha did not allow such bonds. The Hyuga clan intervened swiftly, coldly, efficiently. Hinata was warned, Naruto was avoided, and just like that, even the smallest piece of light in Naruto's world was dragged back into darkness. Graduation day arrived like a cruel joke. Students celebrated, families cheered, dreams took shape. Naruto failed, not for lack of effort, not for lack of skill, but because his chakra refused to behave. Too vast, too wild, too wrong. The Bunshin Jutsu, the simplest technique, remained beyond his reach. And so he sat alone, on a swing that creaked with every passing second. Watching a world he was never meant to belong to, then came Mizuki, with soft words and sharp intentions hidden beneath them. Naruto didn't see the trap, because when someone offers hope to a drowning person, they don't question the hand, they grab it. Hours later, everything changed. The office of Hiruzen Sarutobi was silent, too silent. Naruto sat alone, a forehead protector tied loosely around his arm, a symbol of success, a lie wrapped in metal. His eyes wandered until they landed on the chair. The Hawkage chair. For a moment he hesitated, then he sat, not as a prank, not as a joke, but as a question. What does it feel like to belong? His gaze drifted to a drawer, half open, inside. A letter with his name. Naruto frowned. No one wrote to him. No one cared enough to, yet here it was, waiting. Slowly he opened it. A key fell into his palm, cold, heavy, important. Then his eyes scanned the words. And the world. Stopped. Each sentence dug deeper than any blade ever could, not of love, not of pride, but of purpose, a weapon, a vessel, a calculated decision. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hawkage, his father. Naruto's fingers tight. The paper crumpled slightly. His breathing grew uneven, not from sadness, but from something far more dangerous, understanding. So that's it, he whispered. No tears came, not this time. His entire life, his suffering, his abandonment, his loneliness, all of it. Planned, a hollow laugh escaped him. Soft at first, then darker, colder, the room seemed to shrink, the air turned heavy. Something deep within Naruto began to stir, not chakra, not rage, something older, something watching. The shadows behind him twisted unnaturally, stretching, crawling. Alive, and for the first time in his life. Naruto stopped smiling, his eyes lifted slowly, empty, unreadable, so I was never meant to be human. Behind him. The darkness moved, not outside him, not around him. Within, Naruto stood frozen in the center of the Hokage's office, the letter still trembling faintly in his grip. His breathing had slowed, but not from calm, from control, from something colder than rage. The shadows at his feet stretched unnaturally, crawling like living things drawn toward his body as if recognizing him or awakening with him. Then, silence, his fingers tightened around the paper again. There was more, a final line, a final insult, a key to a house, a legacy left behind, a command disguised as inheritance. Naruto exhaled slowly, eyes scanning the last part again. His father knew that man had left him something, not out of love, not out of guilt, but out of calculation. His gaze drifted upward to the portrait, Minato Namikaze, golden, smiling, worship. Naruto's expression didn't change, but his grip did crack. The frame snapped sideways as his shoulder brushed it, not by accident, but not entirely by intent either. Something loosened behind it, a second seal, hidden, waiting. Naruto's eyes narrowed, of course. Another secret, another layer. He pressed chakra into it without hesitation. The seal flared, light bled into the room. And then the image formed, a projection, clear, cold, calculated. Minato Namikaze looked back at him, not as a father, as a strategist. If you are seeing this, then the outcome I predicted has occurred. Naruto didn't react, didn't blink, didn't breathe. I will already be dead. Hers and Sarutobi will have reclaimed leadership, and you. A pause, measured, will have become what Konoha requires. The words didn't echo, they cut, a deterrent, a vessel, a necessary burden. Naruto's fingers slowly lowered, the paper slipped from his hand. I am aware the village will not treat you kindly, that was accounted for. Something inside Naruto twisted, not pain, not anger, something deeper. Fear will isolate you, isolation will harden you, and in time that will make you useful. The room felt smaller, heavier, like it was closing in. I chose this path knowing the cost. One life weighed against many. Oh. Naruto's lips parted slightly. A breath escaped, but it wasn't human. If you are loyal, then Konoha will endure. The projection flickered once, if not. It ended just like that. Silence returned, but it wasn't the same silence. Naruto stood there, unmoving, then. He laughed. It started low, broken, barely audible, then it grew, sharpened, twisted into something unrecognizable. So that's it. His voice wasn't the same anymore. It lacked warmth, it lacked innocence, it lacked him. A calculation. His head tilted slightly, eyes empty. I wasn't born. The air around him began to tremble. I was decided. Crag. The floor beneath his feet fractured slightly. A thin layer of frost spread outward, unnatural, crawling across wood like rot. At that exact moment, the door burst open. Hiruzen Sarutobi stepped in. And stopped. The pressure hit him instantly, heavy, oppressive, wrong. His aged eyes widened. Naruto. Naruto didn't turn, didn't acknowledge him. Your fath. Don't. One word sharp enough to cut steel. The air snapped. Naruto turned slowly, and for the first time. The Hawkage hesitated, those eyes. Weren't his cold, empty, watching, that man. Naruto's voice was steady, too steady, is nothing to me. A pulse of chakra erupted from him. Not wild, not chaotic, controlled, dense, and tinted with something dark crimson beneath the surface. I'm done carrying names that were forced onto me. The pressure in the room increased, the shadows stretched again. From this moment, Naruto stepped forward. I decide who I am. The Hawkage swallowed carefully. Then tell me, Naruto, who are you? A pause, a shift, a decision. Naruto's lips curled, not into a smile, but into something colder. Use Uten. The word landed like a verdict. No clan, no past, no chains. His gaze sharpened, just me. Silence followed, but this time, it wasn't empty, it was waiting. Naruto turned away, the key still clenched in his hand. That house. His voice lowered, I'll take it. The Hawkeye exhaled slowly. This won't be simple. Naruto stopped at the doorway. Nothing ever was. And then, he was gone, not with speed, not with a jutsu, but with something far more unsettling. He simply wasn't there anymore. The shadows in the room slowly retracted, but one remained lingering. Watching the door long after Naruto had left, and deep within him, something stirred again, not the fox, something older, something that whispered. Finally. The whisper lingered, finally. Naruto did not slow as he moved through the silent streets of Konoha. The night air pressed against his skin, cool and sharp, but it did nothing to calm the storm beneath it. Something had changed, not broken, not lost, replaced. The key in his hand felt heavier now, not like metal, like a decision. The Namikaze estate stood exactly where the letter had said, quiet, untouched, almost abandoned by time itself. Shadows clung to its walls as if even the village refused to acknowledge it. Naruto didn't hesitate. He stepped forward, unlocked the gate, and entered. The moment he crossed the threshold, a seal flared beneath his feet, brief, testing, recognizing, then it died, accepting him. Naruto's eyes scanned the empty compound. This is mine now. The words didn't carry pride, only finality. By morning, the transformation had already begun. Symbols were removed, memories erased, history rewritten, and by the time the sun reached its peak, a new crest replaced everything that came before. A pale circle, a fox, wings spread wide, not legacy, declaration. 2 days later, the village had changed its tone. The same people who once spat at his presence now lowered their eyes. Some smiled, some whispered, some calculated. Naruto ignored them all. The gate opened, softly. He didn't need to turn, he already knew. Hinata Hyuga stepped inside, careful. Quiet but not afraid. For a moment neither spoke. Then she smiled. It was small, fragile, but real. Naruto studied her expression, searching for hesitation, doubt, distance. He found none. You shouldn't be here openly, he said, voice low but steady. Your clan won't like it. Hinata shook her head slightly. They told me to come. That alone said enough. Naruto's gaze sharpened. So now I'm worth knowing. A flicker of tension passed through her, but she didn't retreat. I wanted to come, she said softly. Silence stretched between them, not uncomfortable, just heavy. I heard you became a genin under special conditions, she continued, eyes lowering slightly. Can you tell me what happened? Naruto exhaled slowly, for a brief moment. He considered lying, then he did. He told her not everything, not the parts that still burned too deeply, but enough. When he finished, there was no judgment in her eyes, no fear, only sadness, before he could react. She stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. Naruto froze. I'm sorry, she whispered. You shouldn't have gone through that alone. His hands didn't move, didn't return the gesture, but for a fraction of a second. The storm inside him quieted, then it returned, sharper. It doesn't matter anymore, he said softly. Hinata pulled back slightly, but her gaze remained steady. It does. Naruto looked away. Maybe. A pause, then. Let's spar. Hinata blinked. Right now. I need to move, Naruto replied. Otherwise, I'll start thinking again. She flinched slightly. Almost instinctively, Naruto noticed. His eyes dropped to her arms, still, unmoving. Hinata. She hesitated, then slowly rolled up her sleeve. Bruises, deep, precise, placed exactly where chakra points lay. Naruto's expression darkened. That's not training, he said quietly. Hinata didn't respond. Naruto reached out, carefully. Let me. A small cut across his finger, a drop of blood. He pressed it gently against her skin. The reaction was immediate, subtle, but undeniable. The bruising softened, color fading, damage receding. Hinata's eyes widened slightly. You've improved, she murmured. Naruto didn't answer. He was watching something else, the way his blood reacted, the way it wanted to spread further. He pulled his hand back. Don't rely on it, he said. Hinata nodded. Time passed. Quietly, they spoke of small things, of training, of teams, of things that almost felt normal until the sun began to fall. I should go, Hinata said softly. Naruto nodded. She paused at the gate, turned slightly. You didn't change. Naruto didn't respond immediately. Then, maybe not yet. She left, and once again. He was alone. Night came quickly. Sleep came slower, and when it did, it wasn't kind. Naruto stood in darkness. No. Not darkness, something worse. A corridor, endless, rotting. The ground beneath his feet wasn't water, it was thicker, darker, blood. He didn't question it, didn't react, he walked. Doors lined the walls, dozens, hundreds, some glowed faintly, warm, inviting, others were chained, sealed, leaking something far more dangerous than memory. Naruto didn't stop, not until the corridor ended. There. A cage, massive, ancient, covered in seals, and behind it. Something moved, not slowly, not carefully, hungrily. A figure stepped forward, elegant, terrifying Kurama, but not as the stories described, not a beast, a presence. Her eyes locked onto him, sharp, burning, alive for a moment. Neither spoke then. She moved, fast, violent. The seal exploded with resistance. Throwing her back, she snarled, not in pain, in fury. You. Naruto tilted his head slightly, studying her. So you're the one inside me. Her lips curled. Inside you, she echoed. The air shook. You misunderstand, child. Her eyes glowed brighter. You are inside my prison. The words settled heavy. Naruto didn't step back, didn't flinch. Then we're both trapped. For a brief moment. Something flickered across her expression, then it vanished. You smell different, she said slowly. Naruto's eyes narrowed. What? She leaned closer to the barrier, not like him. A pause, not like the others. The shadows behind Naruto shifted, reacting, responding. Kurama's eyes widened slightly. What are you? Naruto didn't answer, because for the first time, he didn't know. The seal trembled, not breaking, not weakening, responding to him, to something else, and deep within that endless darkness. Something smiled, not the fox, something far older, something that had been waiting, long before Naruto was ever born.
Naruto thought the truth would break him, but it didn't. It changed him. Inside his own mind, he finally came face to face with the Nine-Tailed Fox, not as mythless beast, but as something ancient, something aware. And even it was disturbed, because whatever is awaking inside Naruto, it's not the Kyuubi, it's something far worse, something older, something that was never meant to exist. So now the question is,
Chapter 2. Morning arrived without warmth. Light spilled through the window, pale and indifferent, stretching across the floor of Naruto's new home like it didn't belong there. He opened his eyes slowly. The headache was still there, not sharp, not unbearable, just constant, a reminder. Naruto sat up, pressing his fingers lightly against his temple. So it wasn't a dream. The corridor, the cage, the eyes watching him from behind the seal, and the thing that had watched her. He exhaled slowly. Sleep had done nothing, if anything. It had made everything clearer. I felt worse, he muttered, though even he didn't believe it. For a brief second, something flickered at the edge of his thoughts. A whisper, faint, patient. Naruto ignored it. He stood, walked toward the closet, paused. Orange, that color had followed him his entire life. Bright, loud, desperate. Naruto stared at it for a long moment. Then he reached forward, not gently. The fabric tore, clean, precise, hidden within the lining. A compartment, sealed, forgotten. Naruto opened it, pulled out a scroll. Past me really did prepare for everything. He broke the seal, clothes spilled outward in a controlled release, dark tones dominating the space. Black, deep red, muted blue, no brightness, no attention, no weakness. Naruto moved through them without hesitation, choosing, discarding, evaluating. A mesh undershirt, flexible, breathable, dark combat pants, reinforced, practical, black boots, silent, gloves, grip, control, and finally, the coat. A deep crimson trench coat, heavy yet fluid, tailored to move with him rather than against him. On its back, a symbol, a fox, wings spread, and beneath it, a single kanji, ice. Naruto ran his fingers across it, not with pride, but with recognition. This is enough. The rest returned to the scroll. Sealed, stored, prepared, weapons followed, kunai, wire, tags, tools, not excessive, just necessary, before leaving. Naruto stepped outside, carrying one last thing, the orange jacket. He didn't hesitate, didn't pause. It dropped into the metal bin. The sound it made. Heavy, not from the fabric, from what had been hidden inside it. Naruto turned away without looking back. The academy was louder than usual. Voices, laughter, familiar noise. But when Naruto stepped inside, it stopped. Not completely, just enough. Eyes turned, conversations slowed, because the boy who walked in wasn't the one they remembered. No orange, no loud grin, no desperate energy, only silence and something beneath it. Hinata Hyuga noticed first, not the clothes, not the mask at his side, but the way he walked, measured, balanced, certain. She smiled softly, not surprised. The others weren't as composed. Whispers spread, questions formed, judgments shifted. Naruto ignored all of it until Chaos, a scream, a reaction, a trap triggered. Paint exploded across the room in a sudden burst of color, bright against shock. A second mechanism dropped from above, snapping into place around Sasuke Uchiha's shoulders before anyone could react. For a moment, silence, then laughter. Naruto didn't smile. Because it wasn't about humor, it was about control. And then, movement. Sakura Haruno lunged forward, fast, predictable. Naruto caught her wrist mid-strike effortlessly. The room froze, his grip tightened just enough. Don't. His voice wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. Sakura struggled, pain flickering across her expression. Naruto's eyes didn't change, didn't soften. You act without thinking, you react without understanding, and you expect no consequences. Pressure increased. You're not strong enough to afford that. A second presence moved. Ino Yamanaka. Naruto shifted, positioning Sakura directly into the incoming strike. Impact, confusion, disruption, before Ino could recover. Naruto was already behind her, a hand at her collar, a shift in balance. And then, release, she hit the ground harder than expected. Silence filled the room again, but this time, it was different, not confusion, understanding. Naruto stepped back. If you want to be shinobi, then act like it. No anger, no shouting, just truth. The door slid open. Uruka Yumino stepped in. His gaze moved quickly, assessing Naruto. Naruto turned, calm, composed. They attacked first. Uruka studied him longer than usual, then sighed. Sit down. Naruto did next to Hinata. She didn't speak, didn't question, but her presence remained steady. The room settled slowly, but no one stopped watching him. Even Shikamaru Nara, half laying against the wall, had opened one eye. Troublesome. But there was no boredom in his voice, only calculation. Uruka began listing teams, names, groups, futures. Naruto didn't listen, not fully, until Team 11. Silence. Naruto use Uten. A pause, then Hinata Hyuga. A shift in the room, subtle but noticeable. Naruto didn't react, Hinata did, just slightly, under the guidance of a special Jonin. Before questions could form, the door opened again. An ANBU operative stood there, masked, still. The Hawkage requests your presence. Naruto stood, Hinata followed. Neither spoke as they left. The walk was quiet, but not empty, because Naruto could feel it again. That presence, not outside, waiting, inside, watching. They entered the office. Hiruzen Sarutobi stood waiting, beside him. The ANBU, remove your mask. A pause, then. She did, reviling. Yugal Yuzoki. Her eyes softened instantly. You've grown. Naruto tilted his head slightly. So have you. For the first time that morning, something almost human flickered in his expression. Hinata looked between them, confused. You know each other. Naruto nodded. She was one of the few who did her job. Yugao sighed softly. That's one way to put it. But as she studied him more closely, her expression shifted because something was wrong, not visible, not obvious, but there, deep. Naruto, she said quietly. He met her gaze, and for a split second, the thing inside him looked back for a fraction of a second. That presence inside Naruto looked back through his eyes. Yuga Yuzuki felt it, not chakra, not killing intent, something else. Something that didn't belong to any shinobi she had ever encountered. Her fingers twitched slightly, instinct, old habits from the shadows she had lived in, then it was gone, as if it had never been there. We'll talk later, she said quietly, masking the shift in her expression. Training ground 15-30 minutes. Naruto gave a small nod, no questions. Hinata Hyuga followed him out, her gaze lingering on Yugao for just a moment longer. Something felt off. The door closed, silence returned, and then it shattered. You knew exactly what I felt for that boy. The words cut through the room like steel. Yuga Yuzuki didn't bother hiding it anymore. Her anger, her disgust, her regret. Across from her, Hiruzen Sarutobi remained still, calm, measured. You requested adoption, he said evenly, and I denied it. 6 times. Her voice dropped dangerously low. 6 times you chose this over giving him a life where he wouldn't have to bleed just to survive. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. You speak as if you understand the weight of leadership, Hiruzen replied, his gaze sharpening slightly. Everything done was done for the village. Yugao stepped forward. No, she said, for control. A pause, a thin line formed across the Hokage's face. You think I didn't see it, she continued. The way he was isolated, the way the guards vanished when it mattered. Her fists clenched. I saw what happened to him. For the first time. There was silence from Hiruzen, but it didn't last. That boy, he began slowly, needed to become something Konoha could rely on. Yuga laughed, short, bitter. You mean something Konoha could use? The air grew heavier. You're crossing a line, Yuga. And you crossed it years ago. Their eyes locked for a moment. The room felt like it might collapse under the pressure. Then, Yuga exhaled, understood Hokage-sama. The words came out, but they meant nothing, because in her mind, the title had already lost its weight. Flashback years ago. Rain cold, endless, a child ran, small feet slamming against wet stone, breath uneven, vision blurred, Naruto behind him. Voices shouting, hate given form, monster. Kill it. The alley closed in, no escape, a shadow dropped between them, silent, precise, deadly. Before Naruto could even process it. The world shifted, steel flashed, movement too fast to follow, and then silence, bodies fell, not slowly, not dramatically, just ended. Yuga Yuzuki stood there, blade clean, expression hidden behind her ANBU mask. She turned, looked down at him, and for the first time. She didn't disappear, she stayed, hours later. Naruto opened his eyes, saw her, didn't scream, didn't cry. Are you here to finish it? The question wasn't afraid, it was tired. Something inside Yuga broke that night, because no child should ask that question. No child should expect that answer. She pulled him into a hug, and he didn't resist, because for the first time, someone didn't hurt him. Present, training ground 15. The wind moved softly through the trees. Naruto stood still, Hinata beside him, waiting. Then a shift. Yuga appeared, not from above, not from behind, just there, watching them. Let's begin. She dropped lightly to the ground. Introduce yourselves. Hinata stepped forward first, soft voice, steady. Then Naruto, simple, direct, no unnecessary words. Yuga listened carefully, but her focus wasn't on what he said, it was on what he didn't. Then the test, a bell. Time limit, conditions, standard, or at least. It sounded like it. Naruto didn't move. Hinata didn't move. No. Yuga raised an eyebrow. Naruto's gaze remained steady. I won't fight her. Hinata nodded. Neither will I. Silence, a long one. Then Yuga smiled. Good. Both of them blinked. You pass. No hesitation, no second test. Naruto exhaled softly, as expected. A faint shift in his tone, almost amusement. Two-person teams don't function that way, he continued. If this were real, you'd be testing coordination, not conflict. Yuga studied him more closely now. You've been watching. Learning, Naruto corrected. Hinata smiled slightly. Yuga nodded. Then show me. Steel sang softly as her blade left its sheath. Your teamwork. Naruto and Hinata shifted. But not how most genin would. No retreat, no hiding. They stood their ground. Yuga tilted her head. No plan. Naruto's eyes sharpened. Ambushes rely on ignorance. A faint gust of wind moved through the clearing. You're not ignorant. Hinata stepped slightly to his side. Perfect spacing, perfect balance. Distance won't help either, Naruto continued. Not against someone who lived in the shadows. Yugao's grip tightened slightly on her sword. Now she understood. They weren't reckless, they were calculating. Naruto took a single step forward. The air shifted again, not violently, subtly, like something unseen had just leaned closer, watching, waiting. Then come, Yuga said quietly. Naruto's eyes flickered. Just for a moment, not blue, not entirely, and deep within him. That presence stirred again, interested. Then come. For a split second. Nothing moved, then. Reality shifted. Who said we were still here? Hinata Hyuga's voice echoed, soft, calm, and wrong in its placement. Smoke burst outward. The figures in front of Yuga Yuzuki vanished. An instinct screamed. She pivoted instantly. Just in time, a palm strike cut through the space where her spine had been. Gentle fist, precise, lethal. Yuga twisted sideways, her body flowing with trained efficiency. Only to feel steel flash at her flank. Naruto, a kunai already mid-strike, she blocked, barely. The impact rang sharp, and then they multiplied. Copies of Naruto Uzuten flooded the clearing, each one moving with intent, not chaos. No wasted motion, no hesitation. Yugao's eyes narrowed, so you learned control. Her blade slid free in a smooth arc, then she moved, not faster, not stronger, cleaner, a single step. On shift. And steel danced, 1, 2, 3, clones dissolved into smoke before they could react. 5 more collapsed moments later, the forest filled with dispersing chakra. Until only 2 remained, Naruto, Hinata, both grimaced slightly. Expected, Naruto muttered. Hinata exhaled, then she moved. Her jacket fell first. It hit the ground with a thud, not fabric, weight. Her stance changed, not the rigid formal posture of the Hyuga clan, something softer, more fluid, adapted. Naruto followed. His coat dropped beside hers. The air shifted again. Hand seals formed, precise, efficient. Ice release, frozen ground. The earth beneath Yugao crystallized instantly. Frost spreading outward in jagged veins, her footing locked, and in that same instant, Hinata was already there, no wasted time, no warning, her eyes flared. The Byakugan activating seamlessly. You're inside my range. Her strikes came like rain. Not wild, not rushed, exact. Targeting not chakra, but nerves, each impact calculated to disrupt movement itself. Yugao's body reacted. Too late, then. Smoke substitution. The log split under Hinata's assault, marked with deep indentations. Yugao reappeared at a distance. That wasn't Hyuga standard. Hinata lowered her stance slightly. It is. No pride, just fact. Naruto didn't wait. He closed the distance again. Faster now, his movements sharper, colder. Each strike carried something else. Yugao blocked. But her arm. Numb cold, she disengaged instantly. So that's your element. Before she could reposition. Hinata appeared again, her palms struck downward, and Yugao's legs gave out. She dropped to one knee. Silence fell over the clearing, then a second presence stepped forward, unharmed. Unmoved, the real Yugao Yuzuki, the one they had been fighting. Crumbled dust, Naruto blinked, a clone. Hinata's eyes widened slightly, for that long. Yugao sheathed her blade, 25 minutes. No arrogance, just truth. You did well. Naruto exhaled slowly. Hinata relaxed her stance. We still lost. Yugao shook her head. No. Her gaze sharpened. You adapted. You coordinated. You forced pressure on someone trained to survive worse. A pause. That's not losing. Silence lingered. Then Yugao's attention shifted. Hinata, that style. Hinata's fingers tightened slightly. It was my mother S. The words were quiet, but they carried weight. Yugao nodded once. Keep it alive. Then her eyes moved to Naruto, and yours. Oh. Naruto didn't hesitate. It's mine now. No explanation, no attachment, just ownership. Yugao studied him for a moment longer. I see. She turned slightly. You two already function as a unit. No praise, just recognition, so we won't waste time on basics. A faint smirk touched her lips, but the system still exists. Naruto sighed, D-ranks. Hinata smiled faintly, we'll manage. Yugao nodded, tomorrow, 9. And just like that. The test ended, they parted ways. Hinata returned to her clan, Yugao to her report, and Naruto returned home. Silence greeted him again, but it wasn't empty. It never was anymore. He sat, closed his eyes. Focus. Breath slowed, mind steadied, and then he fell, not physically, but inward, mindscape. The corridor waited. Unchanged, blood beneath his feet, doors lining the walls, but this time Naruto didn't hesitate. Let's get this over with. He walked toward the end, toward the cage. She was there. Kurama, but not raging, not striking, sleeping, leaning against the bars of her prison for a moment. Naruto simply watched, then her eyes snapped open, red, sharp, aware. Her tails shifted violently behind her. You again. Naruto didn't react. Yeah. Silence stretched, then her gaze narrowed. Something's wrong with you. Naruto tilted his head slightly. Took you long enough. A low growl escaped her, but beneath it, something else, not anger, wariness. You're changing, she said slowly. Naruto didn't answer because he already knew. The air between them grew heavier. The seal trembled faintly, and behind Naruto, the darkness shifted again, this time. Closer, watching both of them, and for the first time, even Kurama didn't look away. Kurama didn't look away. The air between them tightened. You again. Her voice was quieter this time, not softer. Measured, Naruto stood still, unfazed by the weight behind her gaze. Yeah. For a moment neither moved, then her tails shifted slowly behind her, no longer lashing in blind rage, but coiling, watching, thinking. What do you want? She asked, not a snarl, not a threat, a question. Naruto tilted his head slightly. Something you want too. That caught her attention. Her eyes narrowed, studying him more carefully now, not as a container, but as something else. You speak as if you understand desire, she said. You're barely more than a child. Naruto didn't react. I understand cages. Silence, that answer lingered longer than it should have. Kurama exhaled slowly, her presence pressing heavier against the seal. Then say it clearly. Naruto stepped closer, not reckless, not hesitant, deliberate. A deal. The word echoed faintly through the mindscape. Kurama's lips curled, not into anger, but into something sharper. You think you can bargain with me? Naruto met her gaze without flinching. I think you're tired of waiting. That hit her tails stilled. Explain. Naruto's eyes shifted slightly, darker at the edges. The seal isn't permanent. Kurama's expression didn't change, but the air around her did. When it wakens, it won't free you. Naruto's voice lowered. It will consume you. A pause, a long one. That's impossible. But she didn't sound certain. Naruto didn't argue, didn't push. He simply watched, and that was enough, because deep within her memory, a shadow lingered, a skeletal presence, a thing that should not have been involved in sealing her. Kurama's eyes flickered. Go on. Naruto's voice remained steady. I can change how it unfolds. Now she leaned forward, interest, danger, possibility. And what do you gain? Naruto didn't answer immediately, for the first time. His gaze shifted slightly, not toward her, toward the darkness behind him, watching, waiting, then. Control. Kurama's eyes narrowed, that's all. Naruto exhaled softly. No. Oh. A pause, guidance. That surprised her, not the ambition, the honesty. You want power, she said. I already have power. Another pause, I want to understand it. That was new. Kurama studied him in silence, longer this time, deeper, and in return. Naruto's expression didn't change. You don't harm what's mine. A flicker of something crossed her eyes. Mine, she repeated. Naruto didn't elaborate, and you helped me grow stronger. A faint smile touched Kurama's lips, bold. Another pause, and if I refuse? Naruto's gaze didn't waver, then we both wait. Silence again, but this time. It wasn't empty, it was weighing, calculating, then. Kurama laughed, not loudly, not wildly, but genuinely. You're different. Her tails swayed behind her, very well. Oh. The words settled into the space between them. I accept. The moment she said it, something shifted, not the seal, something deeper, something watching. Naruto didn't react. Good. Kurama leaned back slightly, then leave. But Naruto didn't move, instead. He looked around at the bars, the chains, the decay. No. That caught her off guard. What? Naruto raised a hand, chakra flowed. Not violently, not forcefully, but deliberately. The seal didn't break, it changed. The bars dissolved into light, the darkness receded, the corridor shifted. Grass replaced blood, air replaced decay. A sky formed above. Not one moon, two, stars spread across it like fractured glass. A river cut through the land, mountains rose in the distance. Life, not illusion, creation. Kurama didn't move for the first time. She was silent. Why? Naruto lowered his hand. Because we're going to be here for a while. A simple answer, too simple. Kurama looked around slowly. You gave this to me. Naruto turned away slightly. It's not a gift. A pause, it's practical. She watched him carefully. You don't act like the others. Naruto didn't respond because he didn't need to, after a moment. He began to fade, pulled back, leaving. Kurama remained alone in a place that no longer felt like a prison. She stepped forward slowly, bare feet touching grass, real, alive for a moment. She closed her eyes and felt it, freedom, not complete, not yet, but closer, when her eyes opened again. They shifted, not softer, but different. Naruto. Oh. The name lingered on her tongue, and for the first time in centuries. Kurama smiled far away. In the waking world. Naruto's eyes opened, but something in them had changed again, not colder, deeper, as if something inside him had just taken another step forward, and was now paying attention.
Naruto did not just face the nine tails, he made a deal with it, not out of deception, but control. He rasped his own mind, turned a prison into something alive, and for the first time in history, the Kyuubi did not look at her host with hatred, but with interest. And that's the terrifying part, because if Naruto can influence something as ancient as the nine tails, then what is thing inside him? Even she is starting to acknowledge. So now the question is Naruto gaining control over his power, or is something else slowly taking control over him?
Chapter 3. Far from the warmth of sunlight, far from the noise of training grounds and the illusion of peace. There existed a place where decisions were made without mercy, a chamber hidden beneath Konoha. Silent, sealed, watching, three figures stood within it, old, still, unmoved by time yet shaped by it, at the center. Danzo Shimura across from him. Two elders of the village, observers, judges, cowards dressed as protectors. The boy is getting too close to the Hyuga air. The woman's voice cut through the silence, measured, cold. Her gaze didn't waver. Are we to assume your influence over hers and Sarutobi is weakening? The man beside her nodded slowly. It was already questionable to allow the vessel into the academy, he added. Now he forms bonds with a clan heir. That is inefficient. Danzo didn't move, didn't react, then. A faint chuckle, you worry too early. His voice was calm, almost bored. The boy is exactly where he needs to be. The woman's eyes narrowed, and yet he is not under your control. A pause, Danzo's bandaged face tilted slightly. Control, he repeated, as if testing the word itself, is not always direct. A flicker. Red hidden beneath the wrappings. The boy's loyalty is tied to Sarutobi. Silence and Sarutobi. Another pause is predictable. The air shifted, the implication hung between them. You intend to guide him indirectly, the elder man concluded. Danzo didn't deny it. He will grow stronger within the system, Danzo continued. He will seek recognition, purpose. His voice lowered slightly, and when that purpose aligns with the village. A faint smile touched his lips, he becomes useful. The woman folded her arms, and the Hyuga girl. Danzo's expression didn't change, a variable. Or a weakness. Both. The room fell silent again, then. The man spoke once more. Would it not be more efficient to place him under someone less forgiving? A subtle implication, a different team, a different influence. Danzo's gaze sharpened slightly. That option has passed. A pause, the boy has already begun to question. The woman's eyes flickered, so the fracture has started. Danzo nodded once, but it has not broken. Oh. His tone remained calm, measured, and it won't. A longer silence followed, because all three of them understood. If Naruto broke completely, he wouldn't become a weapon, he would become something uncontrollable, and even Danzo did not gamble on things he couldn't cage. Then we watch, the man said finally. Danzo's gaze shifted upward, as if looking beyond the ceiling, beyond the village, toward something unseen. Yes. What? 3 months later, hidden training ground. Time did not heal Naruto, it refined him. 3 months of relentless training under Yuga Uzuki. No breaks, no mercy, no illusions. His body had changed, stronger, sharper, but it was his mind. That had become dangerous, steel clashed. Naruto moved through the clearing with controlled precision, blade cutting through the air in clean arcs. Yugao blocked, deflected, countered, again. Naruto didn't hesitate, he adjusted, shifted, but something still didn't align. Yugao stepped back, you're forcing it. Naruto lowered his blade slightly, it doesn't fit. She nodded, then stopped trying to make it. That night, he found something else, not by accident, by guidance, a whisper in the dark, a direction given within his mind, and Naruto followed it, beyond the village, to a place forgotten, buried beneath time, a grave, not marked, not honored, but still waiting. The moment he stepped inside, the air changed, cold, heavy, ancient, blades lay scattered across the ground, rust, dust, silence. But one called to him, not loudly, not forcefully, but undeniably. Naruto stepped forward, reached down, and touched it, the moment his fingers closed around the hilt. Something clicked, not outside, inside, a missing piece. Returning, he drew the blade, white pure, its surface untouched by time, and for the first time, Naruto felt complete, present, training ground. Steel moved again, different now, not forced, flowing. Yugao's eyes narrowed slightly as she blocked. That's new. Naruto didn't respond, he didn't need to, because the blade understood him and he understood it, nearby. Hinata Hyuga moved with equal precision, her strikes softer, more refined, but no less deadly. Her style had evolved, no longer confined, no longer restrained. Something of her mother lived within it, and something new was being created. They didn't speak, they didn't need to, because they moved as one, and Yugao saw it. You've both changed. Naruto lowered his blade, we had to. Later, alone, Naruto lay on a tree branch, a scroll open in his hands, formulas, seals, patterns, his father's work. Naruto's eyes moved across them carefully, searching, always searching. There has to be a way. He closed his eyes. Yuki. Silence answered, then a presence pulling him inward, mindscape. The world he created remained, alive, breathing, and at its center. Kurama watching him, waiting. Naruto stepped forward. There's a way to break the seal, isn't there? She didn't answer immediately, which told him everything. There is. Oh. Her voice was quieter now, but heavier. Naruto's eyes sharpened. Tell me. Kurama looked away briefly, for the first time. Hesitating, no. Naruto frowned. Why? She met his gaze again, and this time there was something different in it, not anger, not pride, concern, because it will kill you. The words landed harder than any strike. Naruto didn't move, didn't react. That's not your decision. Kurama's expression darkened. It is if I refuse to let you try. Silence spread between them, heavy, unresolved, and somewhere deep within Naruto. That presence stirred again, not impatient, not angry, interested, because now the path forward had a cost. Tell me anyway. Naruto's voice didn't rise, didn't crack, but it carried something heavier than defiance. A decision. Kurama's eyes hardened instantly. I said no. The space around them tightened. You don't get to decide what risks I take, Naruto replied, stepping closer. Not anymore. For a moment, it almost looked like she might give in. Then something in her expression broke, not anger, pain. You think this is about control. Her voice dropped deeper, sharper. You think I'm trying to hold you back. Naruto didn't answer because he didn't know, and that was enough. You are the only one, she continued, quieter now, in 1,000 years, who has spoken to me like I wasn't just a weapon. Her gaze locked onto his, and you expect me to hand you a method that could erase you. Silence heavy, unavoidable. I won't. The words echoed. Final. Naruto's jaw tightened. Then I'll find it myself. For the first time, Kurama's chakra flared violently. No. The ground beneath them cracked, the sky above trembled. You will not. Her voice surged. Not as a beast, but as something older. Your life is not something you throw away chasing power you don't understand. Naruto's eyes darkened. It's not power. A pause. It's freedom. That silenced her for just a moment, then leave. Naruto didn't move. Leave, she repeated louder. The world around him began to collapse. Not violently, but forcefully. You don't get to argue this with me. And then, he was gone, reality. Naruto's eyes snapped open. The sky spun above him. He was falling, fast. The branch he had been resting on already gone beneath him. Was he twisted midair, body reacting before thought, and landed cleanly, but the silence was wrong, Yuki. Nothing, no presence, no voice, the link. Gone for the first time since it formed. He was alone. Naruto exhaled slowly. Fine. But his grip tightened because it didn't feel fine, not even close. He moved to the center of the clearing, drew his blade, and then Shadow Clone Jutsu. The forest filled instantly, 50 versions of himself, each one moving, each one training. The rhythm began, forms, strikes, steps, again. Time blurred, clones dispelled, memories returned, refined, sharpened. Naruto didn't stop, didn't slow, because stopping meant thinking, and thinking meant hearing silence. Hours passed by the time he stopped. His body screamed. Muscles burned, breathing heavy. The weight of his cloak lay discarded nearby. And even without it, he felt heavy. You can come out now. Silence then. Movement, a figure dropped from the trees, masked, silent, ANBU. Naruto didn't hesitate. He vanished, appeared behind them. And struck. The impact drove the figure forward. Before Naruto caught them and slammed them into the ground. Why are you watching me? No answer. Naruto's grip tightened. The mask cracked slightly. Then, a blur, a second force, kicked him away. By the time he recovered, they were gone. Only one thing remained, the mask. Naruto picked it up slowly, not animal-shaped, no identity, only a symbol, root, Danzo. The name settled coldly in his chest. Something was moving behind the scenes. And for once, Naruto didn't feel like the one in control. Exhaustion hit him all at once. His body gave in. And darkness followed. Elsewhere, Hyuga compound. Pain sharp, relentless. Hinata Hyuga stood barely upright, across from her. Hayashi Hyuga unyielding. His strikes didn't slow, didn't soften, each one precise, each one punishing. Hinata blocked, dodged, endured, but her body was reaching its limit. Her breath faltered, her stance broke. Just for a second, and that was enough. The strike landed. She hit the ground hard. Silence followed, then. You will not use that form again. His voice carried no anger, only judgment. It is not Hyuga. Hinata's fingers tightened against the ground. It was my mother S. A pause, then. Then it should have died with her. Oh. Something inside Hinata snapped, not loudly, but completely. I'm not a disgrace. Her voice trembled, but didn't break. Hayashi turned away. You are. And he left night training ground. Stars filled the sky, quiet, endless. Hinata moved silently through the trees toward the only place she felt seen. Naruto wasn't at the house, so she came here and found him sleeping, alone. She knelt beside him, relief washing over her quietly. Idiot. Soft, fond, she noticed the cloak, lifted it, and felt the weight. How do you even move in this? Something shifted inside it, a hidden pocket. She opened it and froze, a locket familiar. Her breath caught inside. A memory, them smiling before everything became complicated, before the world pushed them apart. Hinata smiled softly. You kept it. She closed it carefully, set it aside, then, slowly, she moved closer, hesitant, then, braver, her arm wrapped around him. The cloak pulled over them both, warm, safe for once. Enough, and as sleep took her, she didn't fight it. Dawn. Naruto woke slowly. Something felt different, warm, heavy, alive. He opened his eyes and froze. Hinata curled against him, holding onto him, breathing softly for a moment. Naruto didn't move, didn't think, just existed. Then he saw it, the bruise, faint. But there, his expression changed instantly, carefully. He shifted the cloak more and more, bruises layered, old, new. His eyes darkened, then changed the blue, fading into something colder. Hinata stirred, woke, and saw him. That look. Naruto. Oh. His voice came out calm, too calm. He did this. Not a question, a fact. Hinata hesitated, then nodded. That was enough. Naruto stood slowly. We're going. Hinata blinked where Naruto turned. And for a moment, that presence inside him pressed closer, watching to end this. The air around them dropped, and then they vanished.
Naruto just lost the one voice that grounded him, and for the first time, he completely alone in his own mind. But that's not the worst part, because when he wake up, he finds the one person who ever stood by him broken, bruised, and barely holding on. And something inside Naruto snaps, not loudly, not violently, but completely. Now he's not running, he's not enduring, he's done. So the real question is what happens when Naruto stopped holding back and the thing inside him finally decided to act.
Chapter 4. Time passed, but nothing healed. A week had gone by since Naruto stood in the Hokage's office, anger burning through him as he demanded justice. And was given nothing. Konoha remained the same: order, law, tradition, words that sounded noble. Until they were used to justify suffering. Naruto had learned something that day, not about power, not about enemies, but about limits. Some wounds weren't protected, some people weren't saved, and some systems were never meant to help. 1 week earlier, the office had felt smaller that day, tighter. What do you mean there's nothing you can do? Naruto's voice didn't shake, it cut. Across from him, Hers and Sarutobi remained seated, calm, composed, distant. Behind Naruto, Hinata Hyuga stood quietly, bruised, silent. I understand your anger, Hiruzen said slowly, but this falls under clan jurisdiction. Naruto's jaw tightened. Jurisdiction, he repeated, you call that training? Hinata didn't move, didn't speak, because she already knew how this would end. There are laws in place for a reason, Hiruzen continued. Clans are allowed to discipline and train their own. Naruto's hands clenched, and if that training kills her. Silence. Hiruzen didn't answer immediately. It hasn't. That was enough. Something inside Naruto shifted that day. Not violently, not loudly, but permanently, he argued, quoted, pushed every boundary he could find, but every path ended the same way. Closed. The system protected itself, not her. In the end, all he could do was heal her. A drop of blood, a quiet touch, and even that felt like failure. Present training ground. The air cracked, wood splintered, a training post froze. Then shattered. Naruto stood in the center of the clearing, breathing steady, eyes not, again. 50 shadows surrounded him, each one armed, each one ready. They moved as one. Steel clashed. Naruto didn't hold back, didn't calculate, didn't restrain. He destroyed. A clone rushed from behind. Naruto countered without turning. Elbow, blade, gone. Another approached. 3 more behind it. He stepped forward. And the ground answered. Ice surged upward in jagged spikes, impaling one, crippling another. The fight didn't slow, it escalated, faster, colder. Naruto's movements sharpened beyond reason. His eyes shifted blue, silver, then something deeper. The clones adapted, coordinated, but it didn't matter because Naruto was no longer training, he was venting. A clone charged. Naruto met it head-on, a single strike. And the body froze solid mid-motion, then shattered. Another clone formed hand signs. Ice-style white wolf. It never finished. Naruto was already behind it. The blade pierced through. And silence followed, one by one. They fell until none remained. The clearing stood empty, still, then. Naruto roared, not human, not controlled, something deeper. The ground beneath him cracked. Frost spreading outward in violent waves, trees froze, grass crystallized, the air itself turned sharp. Why? His voice broke. Why is it always like this? His hands clenched. Chakra surged, red, violent, unstable, it wrapped around him. But something else interfered, cold, ancient, watching. The two forces collided. And the world fractured. Naruto staggered. Then froze because suddenly he wasn't there anymore. Memory. Darkness, cold stone, rough hands, a younger body, smaller, weaker. Naruto, 10 years old, bound, surrounded. Voices screamed. Monster. Kill it. Pain came first, sharp, immediate, then more blades cutting into skin. Again, again, again. Naruto didn't scream because even then He had already learned. No one was coming, blood covered the ground, but he didn't die, couldn't die, that was the worst part. Then, fire slow, deliberate, burning and still. No one stopped it. Until they came ANBU masked, silent, too late, lightning struck his body. Pain beyond comprehension, and just as everything began to fade, something inside him snapped. Ice exploded outward, freezing everything, ending everything. Then, a voice, this must be erased. Darkness swallowed it, present. Naruto collapsed to his knees, breathing uneven, hands trembling. They erased it. His voice cracked, not from weakness, from realization, his body. Marked, faint scars now visible where none had been before, hidden until now. Naruto's eyes slowly lifted. No rage, no screaming, just something colder. So that's what you took from me. The wind died, the ice spread further. Silent, controlled, and somewhere deep within him. That presence stirred again, not surprised. Not shocked, but satisfied because now Naruto remembered, and what was taken from him had just been returned. Naruto remembered, and once something like that returns, it doesn't fade. The world hadn't changed in that moment. The trees still stood, the wind still moved, but Naruto was no longer the same person standing in it. He knelt in the frozen clearing, breath uneven, eyes hollow with something far deeper than rage. And then, soft footsteps. Hinata Hyuga. She stopped when she saw him for a moment. She didn't recognize him, not the boy she knew, but something fractured. Naruto-kun. He looked up, and what she saw made her chest tighten. Those eyes weren't just angry, they were lost. Hinata didn't hesitate. She moved forward and wrapped her arms around him. Naruto froze, then broke. His hands clenched into her back as his body shook violently. A sound tore out of him. Raw, unfiltered, not rage, pain. I couldn't. His voice cracked. I couldn't do anything. The words came out fragmented. I tried, I fought, His grip tightened, and nothing changed. Hinata's arms tightened around him. You don't hate me, do you? That question hit harder than anything else. Hinata pulled back and slapped him. The sound echoed sharply in the frozen clearing. Naruto blinked. Stunned, tears filled her eyes. Don't say that. Her voice trembled, but didn't break. You don't get to decide what you mean to me. Naruto stared at her. You were there, she continued. When no one else was, you stayed, you listened, you saw me. Oh. Her hands clenched against his shirt. I would never hate you. Silence followed. Naruto's breathing slowed. The storm inside him shifted, not gone, but redirected. He pulled her into a tighter embrace, and for a moment, everything else disappeared. No village, no pain, no past, just her warm, real, alive. I'm sorry. Hinata's face flushed faintly. You already do enough. She pulled back slightly, and their eyes met, too close, too quiet. Something passed between them. Unspoken, uncontrolled, they leaned closer. Just slightly. Then, a sharp caw cut through the air. Both froze, pulled back instantly. Silence returned. Awkward now, heavy. Hinata stood quickly. Naruto exhaled. Hinata. She paused. Your father won't stop. The words were calm, too calm. He won't let you go. Hinata didn't respond because she already knew. Naruto's gaze hardened, then stopped, waiting for him to. That made her look at him. What? Naruto stepped forward. If you can't escape it. A pause, then take it. The air shifted, become stronger than him. Hinata's breath caught. Change it. His voice lowered, or it will keep breaking you. Silence long, then. I know. Her voice was quiet but not weak. Naruto nodded once. That was enough. Oh, Naruto-kun. She turned slightly. Yugal-sensei said we have a mission. Naruto blinked already. Hinata nodded. Land of waves. A pause, C-rank. Something flickered in Naruto's eyes, not excitement, focus. Then we prepare. Hinata smiled faintly, then vanished into the trees. Naruto stood there a moment longer. Then, he moved Night Naruto's home. Water ran down his skin, warm, but it didn't wash anything away. Naruto stood beneath the stream. Eyes fixed downward on his body, scars, faint but real, so it wasn't just memory. His fingers traced one, barely visible, but enough. They hid everything. Not just what happened, but what it left behind. Naruto exhaled slowly. Then I'll stop hiding too. That decision settled quietly. Final, Hyuga compound, same night. The air was tense, sharp, two figures faced each other. Hinata, Hyuga. And Hanabi Hyuga, their eyes activated simultaneously. The Byakugan flared. Hanabi moved first, fast, precise. Hinata didn't retreat, didn't hesitate. She flowed, her movements soft. But impossible to predict. Hanabi's strikes missed again and again. Confusion flashed across her face. What? Hinata stepped in and struck not chakra points. Nerves disruption, control. Hanabi staggered, Hinata followed, relentless, a flurry of strikes. Clean, efficient, final. Hanabi collapsed. The courtyard fell silent. Hayashi Hyuga watched, eyes unreadable, for the first time. He saw it, not weakness, not hesitation, but something else. So it was there all along. A faint shift in his expression, not approval, but acknowledgement. Hinata stood still. Her expression didn't change, but her hands trembled slightly because this was only the beginning. Far away, land of waves. Storm clouds churned violently overhead, lightning split the sky, rain lashed against rooftops. A lone figure stood at the edge of a building, watching, waiting, her eyes narrowed slightly, something coming. The wind shifted, cold for just a moment. The rain felt like snow, then it was gone. She turned and disappeared inside, Dawn, Naruto's home. The world was quiet, too quiet. Naruto stood by the window, watching the sky, thinking then. A blur, fast, too fast, impact. His body slammed into the wall before he could react. A massive form loomed over him, a panther, dark, silent, its eyes yellow, unblinking, watching him. Naruto didn't move, didn't resist. He stared back, and slowly. His eyes changed blue, fading into silver, slitted, matching for 10 seconds. Neither moved then. The panther's eyes shifted, becoming identical to his. The air went still. Because something had just recognized him, not as prey, not as enemy, but as something else entirely. The panther did not move, it simply acknowledged. Naruto's silver, slit-like eyes held steady, locked with the creature's own reflection. Then the weight shifted, the massive beast stepped back, lowered itself, not submission, not fear, recognition, bearer of the frozen blade. Its voice did not echo in the air. It resonated directly within Naruto's mind. We have waited. Naruto didn't respond, didn't question, because something inside him already understood. A scroll materialized between them. Ancient, worn, Naruto's gaze dropped. Only one name marked its surface. Konoha Uzumaki, the moment his fingers brushed it. The world broke, the tomb again. Cold, silent, endless. Naruto stood where it had all begun. The grave, the blade, the past. So you came back. A voice. Naruto turned, and there he stood, Konoha Uzumaki, not as a memory, not as an illusion, as something preserved. His presence carried weight, age, regret. You've already taken what I left behind, Koten said calmly, but a blade like that doesn't belong to hands that simply find it. Naruto's grip tightened instinctively. It chose me. A faint smile, then prove it. The ground trembled, bones shifted, something rose from nothing, from death. A body formed, red hair, white eyes, and a presence that pressed against Naruto's senses like a storm. Sora. Koten's voice carried something heavier now. My failure. The man stepped forward, Sora Uzumaki. His gaze locked onto Naruto, cold, empty. You carry what was never yours. Steel sang as his blade left its sheath. Naruto didn't hesitate. His own blade followed, white against red. Try taking it. They vanished and collided. The impact shattered the silence. Shockwaves tore through the tomb. Sparks scattered like stars. Sora was faster, stronger. Each strike forced Naruto back. Each clash shaking his arms, but Naruto didn't retreat, didn't falter, because this wasn't about winning. It was about refusing to lose. Sora moved. Gone then. Pain, a slash tore across Naruto's back, blood followed. Naruto staggered. Then disappeared, speed increased, faster, sharper, his vision shifted. Silver flooding his sight, time slowed, Sora's movements became readable, predictable. Naruto countered, strike. Blood, Sora's arm split. But he didn't react, didn't feel, didn't care. The fight escalated, faster, more violent, until they both stopped simultaneously, blades sheathed, chakra surged, then let's end it. Their voices overlapped, the ground shattered beneath them. Massive constructs forming. A beast of ice. And a creature of raw, burning force. They collided, exploded, and from the aftermath. Naruto moved faster than before, stronger, a single strike. A direct hit. Sora's body broke, not physically, but something deeper. He staggered, reaching for the blade, mine. His hand passed through it and began to fade. No. His voice cracked. Then vanished, gone, silence returned. Koten stepped forward once more. You endured. Oh. Naruto stood still, breathing steady, blood drying. That's all that matters. Koten's gaze softened slightly. The blade doesn't follow strength. A pause, it follows will. Naruto said nothing because he already knew. Then take it, Koten continued, and don't repeat our mistakes. His form began to fade, and Naruto. A small smile, don't break. Then, he was gone, a mark burned briefly into Naruto's hand. Then vanished beneath his skin, reality, Naruto's room. Naruto stood exactly where he had been, unmoved, unchanged, and yet everything was different. The panther remained, watching. You survived. Naruto glanced at it. That was a test. It was judgment. A pause, and you passed. The scroll unrolled, names appeared, ancient, forgotten. Waiting, sign it. Naruto didn't hesitate, blood, ink, his name joined them, the contract sealed. You are now bound to us. The panther's voice softened slightly, and we to you. It stepped back, then vanished, leaving Naruto alone once more, but not truly alone. Moments later. The clock read 7:10. Naruto stared at it. That's it. Time hadn't matched, not even close. Naruto exhaled, whatever. He moved quickly, prepared, dressed, and stepped out, but as he reached the doorway, he paused just for a second because deep inside, that presence stirred again, not violently, not aggressively, but approving, and for the first time. Naruto felt it clearly. It wasn't just watching anymore, it was choosing. Something had chosen him. And no, the world was beginning to respond. Naruto didn't speak about it, didn't even fully understand it, but the silence inside him was no longer empty. Konoha Gates morning. 15 minutes later. Naruto arrived. Hinata Hyuga was already there, standing quietly, waiting. Their eyes met. And for a brief second, everything from yesterday passed between them without words. Naruto exhaled. You're early. Hinata gave a small nod. You're late. A faint pause by a few minutes. Naruto almost smiled, almost, before he spoke again. I was thinking. Hinata tilted her head slightly, about the seal. Naruto didn't answer because she already knew. 6 layers, maybe more, and one mistake could end everything. He looked away. Not yet. Footsteps interrupted them. Yugal Yuzuki appeared. Calm, composed, and beside her. A man who smelled like failure, Tazuna. He looked them over. Dismissively, this is it, he scoffed. Kids. Naruto didn't react, Hinata didn't respond, but something in the air shifted, subtly. Let's move, Yugo said flatly, and they did, beyond the village. The road stretched endlessly ahead, and for the first time in years. Naruto felt it, freedom, no whispers, no hatred, just wind. Hinata noticed, the way his shoulders relaxed, the way his eyes softened. Just slightly, and she smiled, because this was the Naruto she knew, not broken, not consumed, just him. Hours later. The road narrowed, quiet, too quiet. Naruto's eyes shifted, the ground. Dry, the sky. Clear, and yet. A puddle, small, still, wrong. He passed it. Didn't react, Hinata followed. Yugo did the same. Then it moved, two figures erupted from the water. Chains snapping outward, wrapping around Yugo, pulled blood. No wood a log substitution. Naruto was already moving. Kunai flew. Hinata moved with him. Perfect sync, the attackers dodged. Barely chains snapped. Only to tighten. Caught anchored, Naruto appeared behind one. Kick impact, steel met steel. Claws against blade, the force echoed, but Naruto didn't stop. He pressed, relentless, precise. A feint. Then a strike. The enemy flew. Only to be caught. Wire tightened, pinned Hinata. The second attacker closed in, fast, too fast for hesitation. Hinata stepped forward, her stance changed, fluid, unpredictable, the claws sliced. Missed then. Blood a shallow cut. Hinata didn't react, didn't flinch, her eyes sharpened. Then she moved one step, two strikes, precise, controlled, and then final, her palm struck, not bone, not muscle, something deeper. The man froze, coughed, and collapsed, still gone, silence. Hinata stared, her breathing shallow, her body trembling. Naruto approached slowly. Hinata. She flinched, turned, eyes wide. I killed him. The words barely left her lips. Naruto didn't answer immediately. He stepped closer and pulled her into him. She didn't resist, didn't hold back. Her hands clutched tightly. As the reality sank in, Yuga landed nearby, her gaze cold, focused on Tazuna. The air shifted, heavy, dangerous. She grabbed him, lifted him, pinned him to a tree. You lied. Her voice was ice. These weren't bandits. Tazuna choked, fear flooding his face. They were hired, weren't they? Silence then. He broke, words spilled, desperation, a name, a threat, control, a country slowly dying. Yugao dropped him, disgust clear in her eyes. We decide after. She turned, Hinata. A pause, come with me. Hinata hesitated. Then looked at Naruto, he nodded, that was enough. Forest moments later. They sat, quiet, Yugao didn't rush, didn't soften it. What happened? Hinata swallowed, I didn't think. Her voice shook, my body just moved. A tear fell, and then he was gone. Silence, does that make me? She couldn't finish, Yugao answered anyway, no. Firm, certain you chose to protect. Hinata looked up, you acted because you had to. Then pause. That's not what monsters do. Hinata's hands clenched, but I ended his life. Yes, no hesitation, no lies, and you'll remember it. A softer tone, but you'll also remember why. Hinata's breathing steadied, Naruto. Yugao's gaze softened slightly. He's alive because of you. That changed something, not erased, but shifted. Hinata wiped her tears, then slowly stood. I understand. Not fully, but enough for now, back on the road. Naruto stood over the remaining enemy, silent, watching, then. A small scroll opened, information, names, patterns, understanding. He closed it and stepped forward. The man glared at him, hatred, fear. Naruto knelt slightly, a faint smile forming, not warm, not kind. We're going to talk. The wind shifted, cold. And for the first time, the man realized. He wasn't dealing with a child, the wind had stilled, but something colder had taken its place. Naruto knelt in front of the surviving shinobi, silent, watching. The man glared back. Spitting blood and defiance, Naruto didn't react, didn't wipe it away. Your name. Flat, emotionless, the man laughed weakly. Go to hell. A pause, then Naruto reached into his pouch. Thin needles, precise, purposeful. I'll ask once more. The chakra around him shifted. Not wild, controlled, dangerously so. The man hesitated. Just for a second, then. Pain sudden, sharp, his scream tore through the clearing. Cut short, then returned again. Naruto watched, measured, every reaction, every break, until... Mezu. The name fell out, broken. Naruto stopped immediately, the pain vanished. Silence followed, heavy, cold, good. No satisfaction, no pride, just efficiency. Later. The sky darkened, the forest quieted, and the weight of the day settled in. Yuga Yuzuki and Hinata Hyuga returned. Naruto was still there, still kneeling, still distant. The enemy lay nearby. Unmoving, Yugao's eyes flicked between them. You got what we needed. Naruto nodded once, nothing more. She didn't press because she knew that look, that silence. She had seen it before. Set up camp. No argument came. Nightfall. 3 tents, a small fire, and too many thoughts. Naruto disappeared into his tent without a word. Hinata watched him go, hesitated, then looked at Yugo. No words, just a question in her eyes. Yugo nodded. Go. Inside the tent. Dark, quiet, Naruto lay still, eyes open, not sleeping, not resting, just there, then. Soft movement, Hinata entered. The faint scent of lavender followed her. Naruto's gaze shifted slightly. Hinata. She knelt beside him. Can I stay? No hesitation, yeah. She slipped in beside him. Closer than expected, closer than either had prepared for, but neither moved away. Not now, not after today, her arms wrapped around him. Gently, carefully, like he might break, Naruto stiffened. Just for a second, then. Relaxed for the first time all day, his hand moved. Resting lightly against her back, the silence wasn't empty, it was needed. I was scared. Hinata's voice was soft, barely above a whisper. Naruto didn't ask of what, because he knew. Me too. Oh. That surprised her. She tilted her head slightly. Listening to his heartbeat, steady, strong, real. I didn't want to lose you. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Naruto froze, not from fear, from something else, something unfamiliar, something undeniable. His grip tightened slightly. You won't. Not a promise, a decision. Hinata's face warmed slightly, but she didn't pull away, didn't hide, because for once. She didn't want to. Naruto's eyes drifted downward, to her, to the way she trusted him, to the way she stayed. Even after everything, and something clicked, not sudden, not explosive, but clear. Hinata. He didn't finish, didn't need to, because the failing was already there, had always been there. He just hadn't understood it, until now. His arms wrapped around her fully, closer, not to protect, but because he wanted to, and that difference changed everything. Hinata relaxed completely. Safe, warm, home, the world outside. The mission, the danger, the past, none of it mattered, not here, not now, only this moment, only each other. Her breathing slowed, sleep came first for her, soft, peaceful. Naruto stayed awake longer, watching, memorizing, because for the first time, he had something real to lose and something real to fight for. His eyes finally closed, not in exhaustion, but in quiet resolve, outside. The fire flickered, the forest watched, and far beyond. Something unseen stirred again, not because of the battle, not because of the power, but because of this. This connection, this choice, this humanity. And whatever it was paying attention. Chapter 5. Morning didn't feel like morning, not really, because for Naruto, nothing inside him had rested, and yet, he woke to warmth, soft, real, alive. His eyes opened slowly, and there she was, Hinata Hyuga, resting against him, peaceful, unaware of the storm building around them, her breath steady, her expression calm. Naruto didn't move, didn't want to, because moments like this didn't exist in his world, not before. His hand hovered, then gently rested against her back, careful, like he might break the moment. Stay like this a little longer. He didn't say it out loud, didn't need to, because for once, he wasn't thinking about pain or revenge or the past. Just her, but peace never lasted, it never did. Naruto slowly shifted, replacing himself with a clone beneath her. Careful, silent, so she wouldn't wake, so she wouldn't lose this moment, even if he had to, outside. The air was cool, the sky still dark, stars fading slowly. Naruto stepped into the open and exhaled. His expression changed instantly. The softness gone, replaced by focus. A leaf rested between his fingers. Chakra flowed, carefully controlled. A thin cut formed, small, not enough, still not there. His grip tightened, a year of effort. And still, incomplete, but his other affinity. That one came naturally, too naturally. Water answered him like it knew him. Naruto frowned. Why is that easier? No answer came, so he stopped asking. Clones appeared. Dozens. Then more training began, relentless, precise. Naruto moved separately. Blade in hand, his body flowed, not like a student, not like a child, but like something that had already survived too much. Every movement. Efficient, every strike. Final, a dance, not of beauty, but of inevitability, watching. Hidden in the trees. A presence, silent still, observing a girl, unseen, unnoticed. At least she thought so. Her eyes followed him, measured him, his stance, his rhythm, his control. He's dangerous. Not loud, not reckless, that made it worse. She reached for Senbin. Instinct, habit, but then... She saw his eyes and froze because what looked back at her wasn't just strength, it was pain, familiar, uncomfortably so. Her hand lowered slowly. Not now. She vanished. Gone without a trace, Naruto. His blade stopped mid-motion. I know you're there. Silence then. Nothing gone, Naruto frowned slightly, too fast. He didn't chase, didn't pursue, instead. He adjusted. 300 clones formed around the camp, silent, hidden, watching, because whatever that was, it wasn't random. Morning came too quickly. Hinata stirred. Clinging tighter, unwilling to let go, Naruto almost laughed, almost. Hinata. She didn't respond. We have to move. A small groan, then. Reluctant release, she avoided his eyes, blushing faintly. Naruto didn't push, didn't tease, because something had changed between them, and neither of them were ready to break it. The road again. They moved, faster now, more focused. Naruto said nothing about the Watcher. Because going back wasn't an option, not anymore, not when he was this close. Freedom, a new beginning, a future outside Konoha. It was all within reach. Hinata walked beside him, quiet but not distant, and every now and then their hands brushed, accidentally, or maybe not. Yuga Yuzuki noticed, said nothing, but her expression softened because for once, they looked like kids, not weapons, not survivors, just happy, and that made her uneasy, because happiness like that never came without a cost. Then, a whistle, sharp, fast, instinct took over. They dropped, too late for the tree behind them, a massive blade embedded into it. Shaking the ground, a presence followed, heavy, cold, killing intent. Zabuza Mamachi standing atop the blade. Like death had taken form. Well, this is interesting. His voice was calm, too calm. Naruto's hand moved. Gripping his own blade, instinct screaming, danger, real danger. Yuga stepped forward, stand down. Naruto didn't move, he's not normal. I know. Her voice didn't waver, which is why you stay back. The air shifted, tension rising. Zabuza laughed softly. You think you can stop me? Mist began to form. But, gone, blown away instantly. Naruto, Zabuza's gaze snapped toward him. So you're the problem. Naruto met his eyes, unflinching. Try me. Yuga's hand shot out. Blocking him, not yet. Firm, absolute, protect the client. Naruto exhaled slowly, then stepped back, reluctantly but not blindly, because this was bigger than pride. Zabuza moved. Faster than anything they had seen before. Steel met steel. The clash echoed, violent, unforgiving. Yuga held, barely, the difference in strength. Immediate, clear. Naruto watched, analyzed, calculated, because this wasn't just a fight. This was a lesson, and something inside him was paying very close attention. Zabuza's eyes darkened. You should have walked away. His hands moved. Chakra surged. Water answered, water style. The air trembled, water dragon jutsu. The dragon formed. Massive, roaring, and charged toward Yuga. Naruto's eyes sharpened, silver flickering beneath blue, and for a brief, terrifying moment, he didn't feel fear, he felt anticipation. The water dragon descended, roaring, violent, unstoppable. Yuga Yuzuki didn't move back, she moved forward. Earth style. The ground rose instantly. A solid wall erupting upward, earth wall. Impact, the dragon collided. Water exploding outward in a violent surge, the wall cracked. But held for a moment, then... Steel, Zabuza's blade tore through it and through her, Clane to Clane. His eyes narrowed because there was no blood, only stone. Clone. The body split. Then detonated, earth-style shrapnel clone. Fragments exploded outward, tearing through Zabuza's form, only for it to dissolve into water. Yugo emerged from the ground nearby, unharmed, of course. Her gaze sharpened, the battlefield shifted, water everywhere, his domain, Naruto. No hesitation, freeze it. Naruto stepped forward, hands already moving, chakra surged. Cold, unforgiving. Ice style. The air dropped, eternal sleep. The lake responded instantly, freezing outward. Fast, relentless, Zabuza reacted. Too late, he burst upward, only to be caught. Trapped, half his body encased in ice, his eyes widened. Damn it. For the first time. He looked cornered, then. A flicker, needles, fast, precise, they struck his neck. Zabuza's body went limp still. A figure landed nearby, masked, silent. Haku, thank you. Calm, measured, you've made this easier. Naruto's eyes narrowed, recognition. You. The same presence from last night, gone before he could react. Zabuza's body. Taken, vanished, aftermath. Silence lingered, heavy, unresolved. Yugo exhaled slowly. He's not dead. Naruto didn't argue, didn't question, because he knew. That wasn't over. Tazuna stepped forward nervously. I have a place you can stay. Yugo didn't respond immediately. Her gaze shifted to her team, evaluating. Fine. Tazuna's house. Warm, quiet, almost normal. Naruto stepped inside. And paused because something about this place felt different, not safe, but human, real. A woman approached. Tsunami. Relief flooded her expression. Father. The reunion was quiet, subtle, but Naruto watched carefully because he wasn't used to this. Family, loss, love, it was all there. In a way he understood too well, a photo caught Yugao's attention. Who are they? Tsunami hesitated, then answered softly, my husband and my son. A pause, they're gone. Silence followed. Naruto looked away, because he didn't need more details. He already knew what that meant, later upstairs. Naruto sat on the edge of the bed, thinking. Again, Hinata entered quietly, closing the door behind her. You're troubled. Naruto exhaled. I had a plan. She sat beside him, listening, to leave. A pause to start over. Hinata didn't interrupt, because she already knew, but now. His gaze lowered. These people. Another pause. They're not part of it. Conflict clear, real. Hinata reached out, placing a hand over his. You don't have to decide everything tonight. Naruto glanced at her. We don't have time. Her expression softened. Then we make time. A simple answer, but enough. Naruto leaned back slightly. We stay 1 week. Decision made after that. He didn't finish, didn't need to. Hinata nodded. I'll make the arrangements. Reliable, steady, always there. Naruto's gaze softened. Thank you. A small moment passed between them, quiet, meaningful. Then she leaned closer, resting her head lightly against him, not rushed, not forced, just natural. Naruto didn't pull away, didn't question it, because right now, this was enough. Outside. The wind picked up, the world shifted, and somewhere in the distance, 2 shadows moved, one silent, one waiting, because the next time they met, it wouldn't end the same way. The night didn't feel quiet, it felt decided. Naruto lay still, eyes half open, staring at nothing. And thinking about everything. Beside him, Hinata Hyuga shifted slightly. Not asleep, not yet. Naruto. Her voice was soft, careful. He turned his head. Yeah. She didn't look away, not this time. There's something I need to know. A pause, say it. Hinata's fingers tightened slightly against his shirt. If we leave, if we build something new. Her voice didn't tremble, but her eyes held something deeper. Where do I stand? Naruto frowned slightly, not in confusion, in understanding. With me. Hinata shook her head faintly. No. She leaned closer, not just with you. A breath. I want to know if I'm your choice. Silence. Naruto didn't answer immediately, because this wasn't a simple question. It wasn't about plans or power or the future. It was about something far more dangerous. Trust. Hinata. His voice softened, you were never second. Her breath caught slightly. You're the reason I'm even thinking about a future. He shifted slightly. Facing her fully now, I don't need a clan full of people I don't trust. A pause, I need someone who won't leave. Their eyes locked, and that's you. Hinata didn't respond because she couldn't, not immediately, so instead. She moved closer, resting against him again, but this time. There was no hesitation, no doubt, just certainty. Then I'm staying. Naruto's hand moved, resting lightly over hers, good. Because for the first time, he meant it without condition, later that night. Naruto's eyes opened again, no sound, no movement, just instinct. He slipped out carefully, replacing himself with a clone, silent, precise, outside. The night air hit him cold, but it didn't slow him. Because his mind had already moved ahead, Gato. The name lingered, a problem, a variable, a risk, and Naruto didn't like risks. The forest blurred past him, clones formed. Hundreds spreading, searching, hunting, it didn't take long, drunken voices, careless, weak. Naruto watched from above, expression unreadable. That's enough. He didn't engage them directly, didn't need to, because this wasn't about fighting. It was about removing obstacles, quietly, efficiently. A structure appeared in the distance, large, guarded, important. Naruto stopped, found you. He didn't rush in, didn't act blindly, instead. He observed, mapped, calculated, then moved inside. The room was dim, voices echoed faintly, arrogant, careless. Naruto stepped through the shadows, unseen. Until, you talk too much. The voice froze the room, the man turned. Too late, Naruto stood behind him, blade drawn, still. You're Gato. Gato trembled, who? Doesn't matter. Naruto's voice didn't rise, didn't threaten, it didn't need to. Open the safe. No argument, no resistance, just fear. Gato complied, slowly, hands shaking. Naruto watched, silent, until it opened, then. He moved fast, decisive, a single strike, clean, final. Gato collapsed, no speech, no explanation, just over. Naruto stood there a moment, looking down, not angry, not satisfied, just done. One less problem. He turned, collected what he needed, then left, outside. The building stood silent, unaware until it was. A distant explosion tore through the night. Flames rising. Erasing everything, Naruto didn't look back because he didn't need to. Forest, return path. He slowed, thinking again, because something about tonight felt off, too smooth, too easy, which means. A shadow shifted nearby. Naruto stopped, eyes narrowing slightly. You're watching again. Silence but not empty, present, waiting. Naruto didn't draw his blade, didn't attack, instead. He spoke next time. A pause, don't hide. The wind moved, and whatever had been there was gone back at the house. Naruto slipped inside, silent, unnoticed, returning to the bed. Hinata shifted slightly, instinctively moving closer, even in sleep. Naruto exhaled quietly and lay beside her, this time. Without a clone. Without distance, just there because tomorrow everything would start moving faster, and he needed to be ready. The night had not ended, it had only shifted, somewhere beyond the quiet illusion of peace. Plans were already moving, pieces already falling into place, and Naruto was no longer reacting to the world, he was shaping it. Forest, edge of the enemy's domain. The air felt wrong, still, too still. Naruto stepped forward. Calm, unhurried, because he already knew. He wasn't alone, a presence flickered, silent, watching, and then steel flashed, a senbon drawn. Fast, precise, deadly, but before it could move. Naruto was already behind her, hand catching her wrist mid-motion, effortless, relax. His voice wasn't hostile, but it wasn't gentle either. I'm not here to fight. The girl froze, eyes narrowing. Studying him, recognizing him, you. Haku lowered her weapon slightly. But not completely, why are you here? Naruto released her hand, slowly, deliberately, because your mission is already over. A pause, Gato is dead. Silence heavy, Haku's expression didn't change. But something behind her eyes did, explain. Naruto didn't, not yet, instead. I want to speak to him. A beat, Zabuza. Another silence, longer this time, measured, then. Follow me. Inside the hideout. The room smelled of iron, of medicine, of survival, and laying there. Bandaged, still dangerous. Was Zabuza Mamachi, his eyes open the moment Naruto stepped in, sharp, alive, the brat. His voice was rough, but amused. You've got guts showing up here. Naruto didn't react, didn't posture, didn't provoke. I didn't come to fight. Zabuza scoffed, then you came to die stupid. A faint smirk touched Naruto's lips. No. A pause, I came with an offer. That got his attention, talk. Naruto stepped closer, calm, controlled. Gato is dead. Zabuza's grin widened. Heh, shame. A beat, I wanted that myself. Naruto continued, as of now, you're unemployed. Haku tensed slightly, but Zabuza only chuckled. Keep going. Naruto's eyes sharpened. I'm building something. A pause, a village. That changed the air. Zabuza's gaze shifted, not dismissive anymore, curious. You. Naruto didn't flinch. Yes. A beat, and I want you in it. Silence then. Laughter low. Dangerous, you want a missing nin to join your village. Naruto nodded once. I want strength. A pause, and I don't care where it comes from. Zabuza's grin sharpened, and what do I get? Naruto didn't hesitate. Freedom. A beat, resources. Another in war when the time comes. That wiped the smile from Zabuza's face, not completely, but enough. War. Naruto's voice lowered, controlled, focused, the Mizukage. Silence heavy, real. Zabuza's eyes locked onto him. You're serious. Naruto didn't answer, he didn't need to, because the intent was already clear, the deal. Time passed, measured in silence, in calculation, in instinct. Zabuza finally leaned back slightly. You're insane. A pause, but I like it. Haku exhaled softly, almost relieved. So, Naruto asked. Zabuza smirked. We'll play your game, kid. A beat, but if you're lying. Naruto cut him off. I'm not. And for a moment, neither of them moved because both understood. This wasn't trust, this was alignment, temporary, useful, dangerous, a pact in the dark. Sake was poured not for celebration, but for acknowledgement, three figures, three futures colliding to new beginnings. Zabuza muttered, Naruto drank, Haku followed, and in that moment, something shifted, not friendship, not yet, but something closer than enemies. Dawn, return. Naruto stumbled slightly as he walked, not weak, just unsteady. The alcohol lingered, but his mind was clear, too clear because everything had just changed, inside the house. The door slid open. And immediately. Where were you? Yuga Yuzuki stood there, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Naruto blinked slowly. Out. She narrowed her gaze. You smell like a brewery. A faint pause made allies. That made her expression shift slightly. You what? Naruto didn't elaborate, didn't explain, because right now, he couldn't instead. He walked past her. I'll explain later. Yuga watched him go, concern rising, because that wasn't the same boy anymore, not fully, not anymore. Upstairs, quiet room. Hinata waited, silent, watching, the moment Naruto stepped in. She knew you did something. Naruto sat down slowly. Yeah. A pause, and it worked. Hinata studied him, not judging, just understanding. Then everything changes now. Naruto looked at her. And for the first time, didn't deny it, yeah. Everything had already begun to move, and there was no going back. The ocean did not sleep. It breathed, slow, endless, and beneath that endless rhythm, three lives drifted toward something irreversible, deck under a dying sky. Naruto stood at the edge of the ship, silent, still. The wind tugged at his cloak. But he didn't move, didn't react, because for once, His mind wasn't racing, it was remembering, slowly. He pulled back his hood, let the cold air touch his face. You know. His voice came quietly, measured. Sometimes blood doesn't mean anything. Behind him. Haku didn't speak, didn't interrupt, she just listened. Family. Naruto continued, isn't who you're born to. A pause, it's who stays. Oh. The words hung there, heavy, real, the ones who don't leave. His eyes drifted. Distant, those are the ones worth everything. Silence followed, not empty but full, because Haku understood too well. Haku's past, a reflection of pain. I had a family once. Her voice was softer than the wind, but sharper than steel. Naruto didn't turn, he didn't need to. I was happy. A faint pause, even if we had nothing. The memory lingered. Fragile, then they found out. Her fingers tightened slightly, what I was. The air shifted, my blood. A breath was cursed. Naruto's expression didn't change, but something inside him listened deeper, my father. A pause killed my mother. The words didn't break, but they carried weight, and then he came for me. Oh. Silence, I didn't even understand what I was doing. Her voice dropped when I killed him. The ocean moved, uncaring, unchanged. That was the first time. A pause, I became something else. Naruto finally turned, not with pity, not with sympathy, but with understanding, because her story wasn't different, not really, yeah. That was all he said, and somehow it was enough. Above them, watching eyes. From the upper deck. Hinata Hyuga watched, quiet, observing, not jealous, not threatened, because she understood something deeper. Naruto didn't trust easily, so when he did, it meant something, and Haku was beginning to matter. That was enough. Elsewhere, a conversation in shadows. Behind her, Zabuza Mamachi leaned against the railing, watching the sea. Well, that could. A pause, what the hell is he? Hinata didn't look at him, someone who had no choice but to grow up. A beat, someone who learned too early that the world doesn't care. Zabuza grunted, he doesn't act like a kid. No, Hinata's voice was calm, he does. A pause, and that's what makes him dangerous. Zabuza's eyes narrowed slightly. Dangerous how? Hinata turned slightly, he has a vision. A beat and people like that. Her gaze sharpened, changed the world. Silence, Zabuza didn't argue, because deep down, he already knew. 5 days later, landfall. The journey was not kind, the sea fought them. The currents resisted, the whirlpools tried to claim them, but they survived, and finally, land appeared. Ruins of a forgotten legacy. What greeted them? Was silence, broken structures, collapsed walls, a graveyard of what once stood proud. This was everything and nothing. Naruto stepped onto the shore, and for the first time, he didn't feel like an outsider, didn't feel like something unwanted, didn't feel lost. So this is it. His voice barely above a whisper, home. The word felt strange, but right, too right, behind him. People moved, supplies unloaded, plans began, but Naruto stood still because something inside him had already rooted itself here, inside the command tent. A map spread across the table, old, marked, rewritten. Naruto stood at the center, not as a genin, not as a child, but as something else entirely. We rebuild. His voice was firm, controlled. No mistakes. He looked at Zabuza Mamachi, hospital first. Then, academy. A pause, we need survival before power. Zabuza nodded once, listening, actually listening. Naruto continued, everyone who comes gets screened. His tone dropped, cold, anyone suspicious. A beat, you deal with it. No hesitation, no doubt. Zabuza smirked faintly. Heh, I was hoping you'd say that. Naruto's gaze didn't soften. This village stays hidden. A pause until it's strong enough to be seen. Tazuna swallowed slightly, because this was no longer just rebuilding. This was strategy, war planning, from a boy who shouldn't think like this. Departure, the next move. The meeting ended not with celebration, but with purpose. Naruto stepped out. With Hinata, Hyuga, and Haku beside him, Mist is next. Hinata nodded, already prepared. Haku remained quiet, but focused because now she had a place too on the ship toward the unknown. The map lay open, wind brushing its edges. Naruto pointed. Tamo's clan. A pause, water and medical specialists. Hinata leaned in slightly. They'll be valuable. Naruto nodded. They're essential. Then, his expression shifted, darker. Kaguya clan. A pause, too late. Silence heavy because they all knew what that meant. Extinction, missed opportunity. A reminder that this world didn't wait, didn't forgive hesitation. Naruto's eyes hardened. We move faster. A beat, no more delays. Because now, he understood something clearly. Every second mattered, and if he hesitated, everything he was building would collapse before it even began. The world did not slow for regret. It did not pause for what could have been saved. It moved, relentless, and Naruto had learned to move with it, not against it, on the open sea between futures. The ship creaked beneath them, waves crashing softly. But the tension remained, unspoken, heavy. We were too late. Haku spoke quietly, no anger, no denial, just truth. Naruto didn't respond immediately, because she wasn't wrong. We knew that could happen. His voice was calm, controlled, but knowing it. A pause doesn't make it easier. Haku's gaze softened slightly. No. It didn't, and it never would. A quiet moment, something human. Behind them, Hinata Hyuga leaned against the railing, lost in thought. The ocean wasn't comforting, too vast, too uncertain. And then, arms wrapped around her, warm, steady. Naruto, she didn't turn, didn't need to, she just leaned back into him. Letting herself exist in that moment, because in a world like this, moments like these didn't last, and both of them knew it. A silent observer. Haku watched, quiet still, something unfamiliar tightening in her chest. Not pain, not exactly, something softer, something she had never truly allowed herself to feel. So that's what it looks like. She murmured faintly without realizing. Her fingers moved, ice forming. Delicate, precise, two figures, Naruto and Hinata, close, connected, alive. For a moment, she just stared at them, then shatter, the figures dissolved, gone, like the thought she tried to suppress. Inside the cabin, truth without illusion. Hinata entered quietly, not surprised, not confused. She had seen everything. Haku stiffened slightly. You saw that. Not a question. Hinata smiled, soft, knowing. He has that effect. A pause, doesn't he? Haku hesitated, then. Yes. Hinata stepped closer, unthreatened, unbothered, but something darker flickered beneath her calm. I'm not naive. Her voice lowered. His path isn't simple. A beat, he won't walk it alone. Haku's eyes widened slightly. You're not angry. Hinata tilted her head. Why would I be? A pause, then. Her smile changed, subtle, dangerous. As long as loyalty stays where it belongs. A beat, everything else can be managed. Silence. Haku understood perfectly because that wasn't kindness, that was a warning wrapped in acceptance. Night, the mind awakens. Naruto sat alone still, breathing slow, controlled, and then he let go, falling inward into himself, mindscape where truth cannot hide. The world shifted, grass, wind, silence, and beneath the tree. She waited. Kurama, no. Yuki, her tails moved lazily. But her eyes were sharp. You've been busy. Naruto approached. Had to be. A pause. You stayed away from that question. Her gaze hardened slightly. I did. Another pause. Good. Because she meant it, and Naruto knew better than to push, for now. An intrusion, something new. And then, a presence, sharp, wild, amused. Well, this is interesting. A woman stepped forward, red hair, scarred, smiling like a predator. Naruto frowned. Who are you? Yuki exhaled slowly. Your weapon. The woman laughed, feral, unrestrained. Name's Hana. A tilt of her head, the soul inside that pretty blade you're swinging around. Naruto blinked once, you're kidding. Do I look like I joke? No, she didn't at all, the truth of the blade. Hana circled him slowly, studying, judging, you're not using it right. Naruto's eyes narrowed, explain. She smirked, you're only half a swordsman right now. A pause, falling snow isn't a single blade style. Silence it never was. Naruto's mind clicked, pieces aligning. So I need another sword. Hana snapped her fingers, now you're thinking. A beat, but you're not finding one. Her grin widened, you're making it. The forged trial of creation. The world changed, fire, metal, heat, a forge that didn't exist. Yet felt more real than anything, this is yours. Hana said quietly, every Uzumaki who mattered. A pause came here. Naruto stepped forward, picked up the hammer, and struck, trial won the grip. Snow, silence, a frozen lake, and a figure, massive, ancient, why are you here? Naruto didn't hesitate, to protect what's mine. A pause, to build something that won't break. The figure studied him, then extended a hand, then prove it. The moment they touched, something formed, a handle, solid, unyielding. Do not waver. Gone, trial 2, the blade. A woman, elegant, deadly, her arm became a weapon. Fight. Naruto moved fast but not fast enough, his weapon shattered, pain followed, you rely on others. Her voice cut deeper than the blade, that won't be enough. Naruto's eyes sharpened, then. He changed, faster, sharper, colder, no hesitation, no doubt, he struck. Not with borrowed strength, but his own, and this time. She fell, leaving behind. A blade cold, perfect, final trial, the judgment. Fire, voices, cruel, rotten, a child tied, helpless. Naruto didn't speak, didn't hesitate, didn't question, he acted. 3 lives ended. In less than a breath, he cut the girl free, gently, you're safe. The world dissolved and something answered, you have passed. Oh. The birth of a weapon. Back in the forge. The pieces came together, handle, blade, purpose, a new sword formed. Blue alive watching, Soramea. A voice echoed, I am yours. Naruto held it, and for the first time. He didn't feel incomplete, he felt. Whole. Hana stared, silent, then whistled, yeah. A grin, that one's dangerous. Naruto didn't smile, he simply looked at the blade. Good. Because danger was exactly what he needed. Chapter 7. The ocean had not yet stilled, and already the next storm was beginning to take shape. Far from the ruins Naruto now claimed as his own, another struggle was unfolding, quieter, unseen, but no less important. Hitomi Uzumaki exhaled sharply as her consciousness snapped back into reality for the 6th time that month. Failure, again. The frustration didn't come as a burst of anger anymore, it lingered dull and heavy like a weight pressing against her chest. Months of trying, months of reaching into the depths of her own soul, and still nothing answered her call. Her blade refused to be born. For a moment her thoughts drifted, unbidden, uncontrollable, back to Konoha and to him. Naruto. Flashback. Big brother, what are you doing? Her small voice had been half asleep, eyes barely open, yet full of wonder. And there he was, hanging upside down from the ceiling like it was the most normal thing in the world. Naruto didn't even blink. You know, little sister, we're the same age. Vlad. Matter of fact, as if that somehow changed anything. It never did. Hitomi had just tilted her head, giggled, and ignored him like always, because to her he was her big brother, and nothing would ever change that. Moments later he dropped from the ceiling effortlessly, landing without a sound. Is there something I can do for you, little sister? She didn't answer, she just walked over, slipped under his blanket, and curled against him. I had a nightmare. A pause, can I sleep here? Naruto chuckled softly, why do you even ask? And just like that, she was safe. Morning always came the same way. He was gone every time, and she would find him later, quiet, distant, reading books no child their age should have even touched. Back then she hadn't understood. Now she did. Present. Hitomi opened her eyes slowly, the memory fading like mist. A soft sigh escaped her lips. I miss you, idiot. Then, without hesitation, she closed her eyes again, diving back into her inner world, trying again, refusing to stop. Not far away, Kushina watched in silence, concern tightening her expression. Months, that's how long Hitomi had been trying, and still nothing. Kushina's grip tightened slightly around the wooden training sword she had just pulled from a storage scroll. If the blade wouldn't answer, then she would force the path forward another way. Get up, Hitomi, she said softly but firmly. We're not waiting anymore. If the soul wouldn't awaken, then the body would be forged first, but even as she spoke, something felt wrong. A faint headache pulsed behind her eyes, a memory slipping, Naruto's face, his smile, his voice telling her. Make her strong. Kushina's vision flickered, red flashing for just a second before fading. What are you doing now, Naruto? Somewhere along the shores of the land of water. Naruto stood within his mindscape once more, only this time. He wasn't learning, he was being tested. Come on, master. Hana grinned, wild, feral, dangerous. Show me what you've got. 3 blades materialized in her hands, each a mirror of herself. One was tossed toward Naruto. He caught it without hesitation. Right hand, reverse grip, left hand, Soramea. His stance shifted, fluid, unnatural, evolving. And then they vanished. Steel screamed, sparks erupted. The clash wasn't graceful, it was violent. Relentless, Hana moved like a storm, spinning, twisting, striking from impossible angles. A whirlwind of blades that forced Naruto backward, his footing tearing through the ground beneath him. But he didn't break, he adapted. Soramea pulsed, and suddenly blue energy tore through the air. Blades of frozen destruction screamed forward. Hana's eyes widened. Each strike she blocked sent shockwaves through her arms, numbing, overwhelming. What the hell? And then she saw it, Naruto's eyes, not blue, not anymore, something deeper. Colder, hungry, he moved, too fast, 2 blades, 2 angles, no escape. Steel collided. And the world shattered, the ground split. The impact launched Hana backward, her defenses crumbling under the sheer force. And then the final strike. A storm of blue fury tore through her. Her blades broke, her body slammed into stone, cracking it apart. Silence followed. Hana dropped to her knees, laughing through blood. I've never been so happy to be a spirit. Across from her, Soramea manifested, fully, alive, terrifying. Her presence alone twisted the air, eyes glowing, smile sharp, body wrapped in something that felt less like clothing and more like a warning. You are worthy, she said calmly, to stand beside our master. Hana stared at her, then burst into laughter. Oh, you're perfect. Naruto said nothing, but inside he understood this wasn't just power anymore, this was evolution. And then he was ripped back, his eyes snapped open. Reality returned. Hinata stood beside him, calm, focused. We've docked, she said. And the situation is interesting. As she spoke, detailing enemy forces, rebel movements, hidden threats. Naruto listened, analyzed, calculated. I'll send a clone, he said simply. No hesitation, no doubt, elsewhere. Haku returned from the village, her disguise fading as she stepped onto the ship. The Teimo's clan is here, she reported, alive but cornered. That was all Naruto needed to hear. He stood, slowly, deliberately, 2 blades resting at his side now, not 1, 2, a silent statement. This. He stepped forward, is where it truly begins. Behind him, Hinata, Haku both followed without question, and as Naruto walked into the unknown, there was no hesitation left in him, only purpose, only direction. Only the quiet, terrifying certainty that the world was about to change, and this time, he wouldn't ask permission.
That's all for now. If you enjoyed, then please like, share and do comments.